Taking the document Rome, we'll find we have an image in here of Rome. And what I'd like to do is explore the different cropping options. Now, cropping is the ability to chop part of an image. So currently this file has a picture of the Colosseum, but it has a little bit of extra information here and here that I'm not quite interested in which case I would crop the image. In order to do that, we firstly have to select the image, then the Picture Tools formatting toolbar, and then the crop tool. Now we can simply just click the crop tool to start with without looking at any of the additional options in here. And what it does is it inserts crop marks. So you've got one in each corner and one on the horizontal and the verticals. The idea behind the crop mark is it allows you to then grab and drag the image crop area in, which I can do from the horizontal and the vertical, or from a corner, in which case, as long as I grab it in the right place, I can drag in both the horizontal and the vertical. So that saves me a little bit of extra time. So this area here that is currently selected will be the resulting picture. Let's move some of the left-hand side in. So again, in from the left and a bit off the bottom. Once you're happy with your new area, so I've dragged in the little crop handles, so little black markers here and here, until I've got my new selected area. I then go back up to the crop tool and click, and that applies the crop to my selected area. So you can then see everything outside of that area is now gone. Obviously I can undo if I've just done it, and then turn off the crop tool by pressing Escape on the keyboard. But I would need to make sure that I go back past the cropping. There we are. So that brings me my full image back. The alternative is to make sure we select the image, and in the crop drop down we can actually crop to an aspect ratio. So if I choose a landscape, because my picture is landscape, and I want it in the ratio 16:9, you can see this is the area offered to me, which actually is chopping a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. I can control how much it takes off the top and the bottom by moving the image behind the crop area. It may be that I think, well, let's take most of it off the top of the document. And then I go back to crop to apply. So in the undo, 2 steps back. Back to the crop tool. If I were to want a portrait aspect ratio, let's say 3:4, you see that we're going to lose a lot off the left and right, but I can, just as we did before, move the image behind that crop area until I'm happy with what I'm going to be left with, which is sort of, I suppose we ought to have the entrance in. And then once I'm happy, crop, and the crop takes place. Again, we're going to go undo. I need to go back a few steps. So I can crop an image really to remove things that I don't want to be on my final document, or crop to fit a particular ratio. Or very cleverly, if I go back to the crop drop down, I can crop to a particular shape. So if I wanted my image to be used really as the background for a particular shape, let's say one of the banners, about this one here, then you can see it will crop to that shape and just leave me the amount of image that is available. So it's crop, crop to shape, and we see all the shapes we've already seen previously. Maybe I want to put this in a no entry sign. Then I just get the picture effectively as the background to the shape. So undo. So you can see that cropping is a useful tool within Word. Again, it saves you having to use a photo editor to edit any of your images. We simply crop out the parts of the image we don't need, and then once it's cropped, I would certainly suggest that you use the compress option, because that removes the cropped areas actually from the image. So if I were to crop this one in again, let's lose this people picnicking on the right there and some of the left stuff, and then apply the crop. I would then need to go to compress and ask it here to delete the cropped areas of the picture. Yes, please. And it's just for email. So that will reduce the quality of the image down enough to make it an email sized document, but not so much that the document is going to look too awful. Okay. The image is compressed and the cropped area is lost forever, but I now have a smaller image and therefore a smaller Word document ready for emailing without the extraneous material that I cannot see anyway. Point to remember though is once you've run the compression tool across your document, whether that's across a single image or all of your images, you cannot then reset this image to its original size and dimensions because that information has been lost. So in the reset option, where we have reset picture and size, that will now not work after I run the compression. So the compression is really one of the last things to be done once you're happy with the state of the image, with the appearance of the image, and with any cropping that you've carried out on that image.